Tuesday morning, less than 48 hours after the fight, that he would fight Manny Pacquiao again in an interview that is scheduled to air over the weekend. The undefeated champion now says he will not do it. He said, "Did I text Stephen A. Smith and say I will fight him again? Yeah, but I changed my mind at this particular time." No, because he's a sore loser and he's a coward. If you lost, accept the loss and say, "Mayweather, you were the better fighter." And Money then posted the following thing on Twitter just yesterday, where he actually predicted in 2009 that he was in a no-win situation. Let's listen.
I'm in a no-win situation no matter what happens. If I beat Manny Pacquiao, you know what they're going to say? You supposed to beat him. You Floyd Mayweather. You the bigger man. And then if I outbox him, they're going to say it was a boring fight.
He says, throwback to November 2009, I was a visionary. I knew that this day would come and this would happen. Skip, do you have a problem with Money saying now he will no longer fight Manny Pacquiao?
Stephen A. Smith, I have beyond a problem with this. I have outrage over this, and I have zero respect for this, because you can call Manny Pacquiao a whole lot of things, be my guest, but the one thing you cannot call Manny Pacquiao is a coward. Now, you can argue back to me that maybe Floyd's already trying to hype a potential rematch, but I am not buying that. I don't think that's operating here right now. I think Floyd Mayweather Jr. is actually trying to salvage whatever credibility he has left from what did or did not happen last Saturday night. A coward doesn't go all 12 rounds, the scheduled 12 rounds of a fight, with a significant tear of his rotator cuff that was about to require major shoulder surgery that will keep Manny Pacquiao out for an entire year, up to an entire year. Stephen A. Smith, that took courage, and that took will, and that took guts. And Manny Pacquiao, instead of being applauded for that, at least by people in this country that I'm aware of, he got sued over it. Right now, Manny Pacquiao is the most unfairly vilified superstar athlete I can ever remember. And Floyd Mayweather Jr. is trying to jump on that bandwagon, if not drive it. He also called Pacquiao a sore loser. And I guess I can take that literally, because if you fought for 12 rounds with a torn rotator cuff, yeah, you'd probably be pretty sore when it was over. And I'm sure he was very sore. But the problem here is that Floyd Mayweather Jr. is trying to escape the truth the way he ducks and dodges and escapes, like the escape artist that he is in the ring. He schooled, quote unquote, to borrow your word, a one-armed man. His win was a joke on Saturday night. I'm sorry. If you beat a one-armed man who landed more significant punches on you than you landed on the one-armed man, that's a joke. And the real truth here is that after Floyd Mayweather did text you on this last Tuesday morning that he would welcome a rematch, I think reality finally hit him hard. Hit him as hard as Pacquiao did with the left hand a few times on Saturday night. And the reality is that at age 39, a year from now, Floyd Mayweather Jr. knows he can't beat a healthy Manny Pacquiao. So I seriously doubt we will see a rematch, because I think Floyd knows he couldn't win a rematch. Silly me, I for one thought he didn't win the first fight. There's no way I think he could win the second one. So he would not want to risk his chances, his undefeated record against the coward Manny Pacquiao.
I find your opinion on this matter to be utterly ridiculous. First of all, let's understand something. Let's understand something here. He's a boxer. Let's not be literal and hold him to the finite definition of each word. Maybe a coward isn't the appropriate word. Maybe a sore loser applies. A bit spoiled applies. You know, a bit bitter applies. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe the word coward isn't applicable here. But that doesn't mean that we lose context of what Floyd Mayweather is trying to say and how right he is. The fact of the matter is this. He stepped into the ring. He beat Manny Pacquiao. 3 judges said he did it. Boxing writers the world over said he did it. Most of America, outside of Skip Bayless and Evander Holyfield, congratulations with that, says that he beat Manny Pacquiao, and that is that. There are also a lot of people who believe that he didn't hurt his rotator cuff before the fight like that. He hurt it when he was missing nearly 400 swings at Floyd Money Mayweather. That's number 2. Number 3, in the end, what it comes down to is this. Floyd Mayweather is absolutely right. He has absolutely nothing to gain. Because the fact is that if he won the decision and still here they come with this excuse, how about simply sitting there and going like this? I wasn't on my game. I really, really messed up. I got hurt during the fight, but the bottom line is I wasn't on my game. You know, I'd like another crack at this. I think I'd be better next time around. No, you're making a concerted effort, meaning Manny Pacquiao, to diminish everything that Floyd accomplished on Saturday. Bob Arum is joining in with you. We understand it from Bob Arum. He's a promoter. Manny Pacquiao should be ashamed of himself. He really, really should. You lost the fight. You lost the fight. And in the end, by losing the fight, you want a rematch, ask for a rematch and call it a day. I need to heal my shoulder. I want to come back. I think I can give it to you a second time around, especially since I've been in with you the first time around. I think I got you figured out. I'll be even healthier next time around. Boom. Instead, you're going around whining. You got the surgery that's going to leave you out for about 9 months or so. Everybody's making excuses for you, not recognizing and realizing you got schooled. I did not see a torn rotator cuff, Skip, in that 4th round. I did not see a torn rotator cuff in that 6th round. To me, in my humble opinion, there is no way on earth that those 2 flurries that Manny Pacquiao had and the way he threw those punches at Floyd Mayweather, that was a torn rotator cuff in the 4th or the 6th round. I don't want to hear it. The bottom line is he lost. And for you to be sitting up here talking about how Floyd, you know, you're disgusted by Floyd or whatever, Floyd is the only person, I'm going to say it again, Floyd is the only person that didn't lie to anybody. Floyd told you exactly what he was going to do. He's not going to go in there trying to imitate Arturo Gatti and Mickey Ward. He's not going to try to be a modern-day Rocky. This is how he fights, and he's going to fight his fight. We decided that this was a mega fight because Manny Pacquiao sold the world on what he was and what he was going to bring to the table, and that was supposed to usurp the greatness of Money Mayweather. Okay. It did not happen. Okay. That is the bottom line.
I got to get this straight. So now I think I'm hearing you say that sometime after the 6th round, that Pacquiao was swinging and missing so often that by swinging and hitting only air, he tore his right rotator cuff during the rest of the fight.
Skip? You know what, Skip? You keep messing with me, I'm going to take a long vacation. I've said this for 3 days. I've said it for 3 days.
Just make
3 days. Well, I have been saying to you. I've been telling you for 3 days.
But you said it couldn't have been torn during the 4th and the 6th, so I'm going to have to think it happened between 7 and 12.
I said to you,
air. He hit air and tore his right rotator cuff.
I said to you that whenever he tore his rotator cuff, in my opinion, it was during the fight. It was not before the fight. Okay. Because there's no way he could have thrown the punches that he was throwing with a torn rotator cuff. That's what I said. Okay, so now you can pick whatever round you want. Okay. I've been saying it for days.
Right, so let's go back and look at the facts. Manny Pacquiao quit sparring. He had no more sparring sessions 2.5 weeks before the fight. And the Filipino media, which was covering it moment to moment, day after day, kept asking Freddie Roach, why is he not sparring? Oh, he's actually sparring at an undisclosed location. We just didn't want the media to watch.
So Freddie Roach was lying? So Freddie Roach was lying?
Yeah, he's lying about sparring because he said later he didn't spar for the last 2.5 weeks.
So basically what you're saying is Freddie Roach was lying before the fight.
Manny Pacquiao. Injury.
Hold on. Yeah. Freddie Roach was lying before the fight to hide the injury. Right. Manny Pacquiao was lying before the fight to hide the injury. Bob Arum was lying before the fight to hide the injury.
Absolutely.
But now that the fight is over, oh, they're Gandhi. They're truth tellers now. Okay. But they were lying before. Okay, so but now they're telling the truth.
Okay, so here's what happened. On fight night, Manny Pacquiao asked for an anti-inflammatory or pain-killing injection in his right shoulder. And because they failed to disclose it the day before at the weigh-in, the Nevada State Athletic Commission said, no, we don't play games that way. You have to disclose it. But guess what happened? because he asked for it, they also had to disclose that he asked and was rejected the possibility of having the pain-killing injection, and they let Mayweather's camp know. So Mayweather was able to fight the fight knowing that Manny Pacquiao had a significant injury in his right shoulder. So the defensive wizard that is Floyd Mayweather Jr., he knows he's fighting a one-armed man. How tough is that? It's a joke.
Was that your Floyd voice?
Yeah. You like that?
Skip Bayless, do you remember?
Some other voice. I don't know what it was. I'm not finished. I'm not finished yet.
Go ahead.
So moments after the fight, like minutes after the fight, Bob Arum is sitting in the media, in the interview room, and tells Yahoo Sports he's got the Kobe Bryant injury. So are you telling me that somehow Arum has X-ray vision, that he can actually take an eye MRI of Manny's shoulder moments after the fight to see a significant tear? Because Kobe's was a significant tear, as was this. And 2 days later, Manny Pacquiao's under the knife of Kobe's doctor in Los Angeles, having significant surgery that will keep him out a year. Don't give me, oh, he heard it later in the fight. No, he heard it 2.5 weeks before, and I told you what happened. He knew he was risking losing the whole fight if he disclosed the injury and said, I need to postpone for a year. What would Floyd have said? He'd say, I'm not fighting you a year from now. I'll be 39 years of age. That's a bunch of baloney. And it would make Manny look silly. Manny said, partly for the money and partly on principle and pride, because he wanted this man badly for all the reasons we've talked about on the show. He said, I'm going to suck it up and I'm going to try to fight him with one hand. And I thought he fought his back end off with one hand.
If you recall correctly, when the whole blood issue came into play years ago, with the drug testing that Floyd Money Mayweather wanted, one of the biggest forms of resistance Manny Pacquiao posed was because he was scared of needles, particularly before a fight. Do you remember that?
I don't remember scared of needles. I remember scared of having his blood drawn on the day of a fight because it might weaken him. That's all I remember.
I remember scared of needles, too, because, the anti-inflammatory shot, I just thought I'd point that out. Number two, it's interesting that you point that out, because the thing about it is this. Like I said, I haven't seen a doctor come on the air and say that somebody with a torn rotator cuff can throw blows like that, like we were seeing Manny Pacquiao try to swing. I haven't seen one doctor come on the air and say that. If I saw something like that, maybe I might have a different opinion. I have not witnessed that. So until I do, I'm not believing it. I'm not buying it. I have no doubt that Manny Pacquiao got hurt during the fight. I sincerely doubt that he was hurt to that degree before the fight. That is my personal belief. I'm not wavering on it one bit. Last but not least, Floyd Mayweather is right. He can't win. Because the bottom line is that y'all gonna have something to say no matter what. But you know what? The boxing world knows. Most observers know. The only two people I know that think Manny Pacquiao won this fight are Skip Bayless and Evander Holyfield. If I'm sitting there and I'm Money Mayweather, you know what? I go on with my life. I got more money. Okay. I got more money than I can spend. I'm worth $500 million. So what? Skip's going to talk about Manny Pacquiao beating him. Nobody believes it. Everybody knows that that's absolutely ridiculous outside of you and Mr. Evander Holyfield that couldn't even come on the show and give us a prediction. His prediction was, I'm going to watch the fight. That was his prediction. I'm going to watch the fight. You understand? We kept asking him what was going to happen. Kept asking him how you going to win the fight. Kept asking him what should happen to see who win the fight. We'll see. Really?
Well, he watched.
Come on now.
And he quickly gave an opinion right after the fight. He said, wait a second, his eyes told him aggressors win rounds. And the more aggressive fighter was Manny Pacquiao. I saw Roy Jones say otherwise. I saw Lennox Lewis say otherwise. I saw Bernard Hopkins come on our network and say otherwise. I saw the great Andre Ward say otherwise. I saw Antonio Tarver say otherwise. I saw a whole bunch of people say it after one round on air on the pay-per-view telecast.
You just all you want to do. You just want to be right because you want to be the ultimate contrarian. You don't have a leg to stand on. He lost. He lost. You just want to sit there and get away with not honoring your bet.
Me personally. Is that what this is?
You didn't honor your bet. I'm going to attack anytime you bring up Manny Pacquiao. You didn't honor your bet.
I think
you didn't honor your bet. You dishonored
there was no stipulation for 2 hours. And
I'm going to remember that.
I'm going to remember that.
You remember you said that.
Okay, last point. I'm going to clinch this.
Clinch it.
Speaking of clinches, which is about all I saw during the fight, was Floyd just tying
Floyd
up.
already clinched it.
Yeah.
Saturday night, the verdict came in.
Did you see what Manny Pacquiao said, what he told the Filipino media?
No.
That Floyd
No, but I don't care.
Floyd knew that he was hurt and that Floyd kept pulling on his injured arm. Kept pulling on his injured arm. And I saw that. I did see that. I wondered. I didn't know what because I didn't know
So he's Kelly Olynyk now. So he's Kelly Olynyk now for the Boston Celtics. That's what Mayweather is now.
But Kelly's been trying to apologize.
If I was Kevin Love, I'd ignore his damn calls too.
No.
Please. Please, what's there to say? What's there to say?
that Mayweather knew.
Brady made his
He beat a
first public appearance yesterday. What he said about Deflategate, children. And then coming up next, there's plenty more on tap. Take a look at our rundown. We're talking about the fight. We're talking about Deflategate. We have Eva Longoria here. Head over to our IG page and check out our Friday rundown. On Tuesday morning, Mayweather told Stephen A. Smith he would give Manny a rematch after he recovered from shoulder surgery. However, days later, in an interview that has yet to air, he told Jim Gray he's changed his mind because Manny has too many excuses. He says Manny should accept the loss like a man instead of talking about a bum shoulder. He called him a sore loser and a coward. Jim Gray was on Mike and Mike this morning, and this is what he had to say about the chances of a rematch.
These folks were arguing, nitpicking, and downright, tooth and nail on every single detail of this fight. The fact that these two guys got in the ring and fought each other, really, it is a miracle. And to say that this could happen again, you never want to say never, but I would say the chances of that are way less than zero, whatever that numerical circumstance would be. It's just not going to happen.
All right, so that's Jim Gray's take on it. Stephen A., you see a rematch happening?
No, I lean towards Jim Gray. You can never say never. Anything's possible, but I think it'd be highly unlikely, especially since Mayweather's of the mindset that, you know what, he can't win no matter what happens. Unless he sit there and put Pacquiao to sleep where the way Marquez did, nothing is going to suffice. And I don't blame him, to be quite honest with you. It's just not worth it, especially when he's already paid. He's not the one that needs the money. He's the one that's got worth over $500 million at least. He's chilling. He doesn't need Manny Pacquiao. I mean, the fact is the fight took place. He won by decision. I thought he outboxed him. Skip thought Manny Pacquiao win. Now he's got Eva Longoria in his corner along with Evander Holyfield.
No, Stephen A. He was just saying that during the commercial break. He just said, now it's it.
It's like, listen, the bottom line is that why bother? Why bother? There are other opponents out there to fight. First of all, you've got Canelo Alvarez and Miguel Cotto, David Garcia, and Amir Khan, a bunch of guys. Listen, and then you want to walk away? If you're going to retire in September, you don't have to come out of retirement to fight Manny Pacquiao. Manny Pacquiao is going to have a loss on his record against Floyd Mayweather Jr., whether he likes it or not. That is in the books. It's in the history books. It is what it is. That's what it's going to go down as a loss, and that's that. I wouldn't even waste my time. Now, obviously, if the public is demanding it the way they were before, that would be different. But the public's not demanding it. Most folks in the public are saying they don't want to see a fight like that again. So why bother? If I'm Money Mayweather, why bother? Doesn't make any sense.
Okay, so remember on Monday, I told you that I seriously doubted there would be a rematch. That's why I told you on Tuesday I was pleasantly, not just surprised, I was pleasantly shocked that Floyd texted you. I told you this in the break, and you were gone, obviously, and then I used it as your announcement of what Floyd had just texted you, that he would welcome a rematch. Wow, he would? So help me out here. What changed, do you think, in Floyd's mind from that moment on Tuesday morning, Eastern time, obviously?
Because I think Floyd was under the impression that Manny Pacquiao initially was saying, I wasn't at my best because I got hurt during the fight. It was in the aftermath of all of it. When Floyd and I spoke Sunday morning, he said excuses, excuses, no excuses. But that's all he was saying because he was simply of the mindset that he thought Manny Pacquiao was saying, I got hurt during the fight, that's why I wasn't at my best. What has annoyed Floyd to no end, and Dan Rayfield will confirm this for you as well. Dan Rayfield and I spoke yesterday as well via text. Floyd Mayweather is disgusted and annoyed that so much noise is being made about what Manny Pacquiao's conditions were coming into the fight. If Manny Pacquiao were to say, I was fighting and while we were in the ring this happened, Floyd might be annoyed, but he wouldn't be insulted. But the fact that Manny Pacquiao is claiming that I had this happen to me before the fight even began, I kept it from the Nevada State Athletic Commission, you know what I'm saying? So did my promoter, so did my trainer and stuff like that. He feels is completely disrespectful and totally discrediting him and the overall fight itself. So Floyd is like, look, I don't need you. Now, also, I would like to point this out. This is according to folks inside the Mayweather camp. I don't know if it's true or not, but I need to tell you this. They're of the mindset, because remember, they were the promotional arm. So all the paperwork comes through them. And from what I heard, Manny Pacquiao got considerably less than he was supposed to get because most of the money went, whether it be the top rank or somebody else. So that's another thing that infuriated Floyd, because Floyd's mentality is that I offered you $40 million up front. I offered you $40 million. I told you I'd wire you $20 million within 48 hours. And you turned that down because you kept bloviating about how this was supposed to be a mega fight and you deserved your large share. And I was giving you more money than you ever got before. And then you make this deal and then you end up getting even less than I offered you? Oh, Floyd's ticked on a multitude of levels. They're not going to elaborate about this publicly, at least not yet. But that's the kind of stuff that I've been hearing. So all of this stuff has contributed to really irritating Floyd, because Floyd is like, I might be arrogant, I might floss, I might have this money, but I respect the profession of boxing, what boxers have to go through. I'm making my money. I tried to facilitate you making yours. And not only did you give me lip, but then you didn't end up capitalizing off the money that we worked so hard to ensure that you get. And then afterwards, you're going to come out after the fight and claim that you were hurt coming into the fight, totally discrediting me in every way. Why should I waste my time with you when you're the one that needs the money, not me? That's his attitude, Skip.
I'm lost here. I think we have a little revisionist history going on, because all this came out that he was hurt before the fight on Sunday going into Monday, and you got the text on Tuesday morning.
No, but I told you we spoke Sunday morning, too. Before I went on SportsCenter, Floyd called me. Before I went on the air with Hannah Storm, Sunday morning, I walked off the SportsCenter set with Hannah Storm and Bernard Hopkins because Floyd asked me to call him. And Floyd told me that Sunday morning, excuses, everybody's got one, but he lost, but he can come get it again so long as Top Rank is willing to put up the money this time instead of us. That's when Floyd first made that statement. Okay. Then Tuesday morning, when he saw you and I going back and forth, he texted me what I told you he texted me.
Okay. I still don't know exactly what changed from Sunday up until Tuesday and then into Wednesday.
On Sunday morning, he was of the impression that Pacquiao was complaining about an injury sustained during the fight.
No.
He was under that impression.
I know, but
I'm just saying
nobody
he was under that
ever
impression.
said a peep about that. Bob Arum said moments after the fight, he had the Kobe Bryant injury before. That's torn rotator cuff.
I'm not disputing that. I'm telling you, Floyd was under the impression that Manny was talking about an injury sustained during the fight, as opposed to Tuesday when he learned that Pacquiao had been saying it occurred before the fight. You got to remember, Floyd just won the fight Saturday night, did a bunch of press conferences, went out and hung out with folks and all of this other stuff. So he may very well not have heard the difference between it occurring during the fight and it occurring before the fight. So it's perfectly plausible how on Sunday morning at 5 o'clock, he's thinking that Manny Pacquiao saying he sustained an injury during the fight as opposed to before it.
And it's perfectly plausible to me that Floyd slept on it on Tuesday night into Wednesday and woke up and realized, wait a second, why would I risk fighting a healthy Manny Pacquiao after I've turned 39 years of age? Now, maybe that's cowardly. I don't know, but I'm just throwing that out.
Who looked like the younger fighter? Who looked like the younger fighter with better movement in the fight?
As the fight went on, Pacquiao did.
Okay.
In round one, when you leap to your conclusion.
Why are you asking these questions?
No, I'm good. I'll make good answer. See, where Manny Pacquiao did himself the most damage was he came out in round one without the benefit of getting the pain-killing shot he thought he was going to get. And he's scared, man. Like, I'm going to have to ease into this because I don't even know if my right arm is going to work here. So he eases in round one. I immediately tweeted, this is not a good start for Manny Pacquiao. And you jumped to the conclusion of, see, Floyd's bigger, he's longer, he's quicker, he looks younger. In round one, it went to Floyd, no doubt about it. Round two, Manny started easing into the fight. 3, took round 3 for sure. 4, he pummeled Floyd, and here we went from there on. But you had already leaped to your conclusion, as had many Floyd fanatics out in our audience.
I don't know what fight you were watching. It's sad. It really is.
I missed what he said. Okay. The fight, guys.
No rematch. It will not happen.
I'm not even interested in talking about it anymore. Yeah. Floyd won the fight.
Yeah.
Period.
No more fight talk on this show. For the first time since the Wells report was released, Tom Brady spoke. But did he say enough? That's the discussion after the break. Damian Woody, is he joining us?
Yes.
I don't see him. Okay, great. Damian Woody's joining us. We'll be right back, folks.